9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Mid-race energy.
You can cancel your Christmas, your vacation, your doctor's appointment.
And we are back and right on time for the season finale of season 49. We're closing out the season finally after a delay because of sickness, mostly by myself, and the holidays. Uh, we're back with The League Has Spoken. Let's get into this finale. Bree's back. Bree, welcome. Bree
Woo.
doing well there in the upper corner.
I'm doing so well.
Not sick at all. Bree and I just got, as did most of you, about 7 to 8 inches of snow up here in Connecticut. However, our other co-host, Kyla, throwing it in our faces a little bit today, drinking a pina colada just for the beach. Why dresses for the beach, Kyla?
It is 70 degrees here today
I hate you.
and very warm. Sunny, beautiful, like a spring day.
Love
Spring
that.
has sprung.
Meanwhile, Bree and I are coughing our lungs out. All right, so like I said, we're finally recapping the finale of season 49, and thus the finale of our second season of Survivor Fantasy Island. Before we get into the recap, though, I thought we could do something new where we take a moment to remember our fallen contestants who have been voted out before the episode we're about to discuss. Remember Sage at the start of the finale, Sage, Christina, Rizzo, Savannah, and Belardi are all still in.
Mhm.
So I wrote them down because I couldn't remember all their names, to be honest. It feels like forever ago the season started. I have some of my favorite moments. Maybe you two can chime in if you disagree with me. Um, so if you remember first voted out, RIP, Nicole. Um, I'll always remember Nicole. I couldn't decide whether I'd remember her most for spitting in Jeremiah's face to get rid of that mud, or just puking out of nowhere because she was too nervous and didn't know who was lying to her.
Too
Two
many liquids coming out
beautiful
of
moments.
bodies. Yeah.
Unbelievable start to the season. When she projectile vomited, I think Bree got off the couch and turned around. That was crazy. Then we move on to our next contestant. If you remember Annie, Trashy Annie. I
Yep.
don't think she did anything memorable during the season, so I think I'm always going to remember her for her pregame press. Before the season started, everyone was talking about Trashy Annie, the woman who was afraid to swim, who had all these crazy nicknames and ended up doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone
I'll
else?
remember her for her pink tips in her hair.
Yes, she did.
That's all I can think about.
Yeah. Jake felt like an easy one. Snake bite, rare
Well,
snake bite.
some of us remember other things from Jake.
Oh, yeah. That's true. What are you gonna remember Jake for, Brianna?
Those disgusting nipples. Those pierced nipples of doom. I'll never forget that.
I forgot.
And what about the weird bromance?
Oh yeah. And he was weirdly obsessed with Alex.
Yeah.
Well, that was not the only person that went home that episode. Jeremiah also went home that episode. Um, I truthfully I'll remember him most for getting hit by a car on the way to film the show. So he says, but on the show, I remember his crazy, like wicked witch laugh and him eating worms.
Yes.
Hmm.
Otherwise, no real big contributions from Jeremiah. Then we had Matt, Dreadlock Matt. Again, pretty much not noteworthy at all. Does anyone have
Yeah.
anything for Matt?
Just he works at an airport.
Unmemorable.
That's all I got.
Made it through like 5 episodes. Couldn't remember a thing about him. Then we had Jason. Jason, the alternate. Jason, who was a puzzle savant, but if you spoke to him outside of a puzzle, he looked like he'd never seen a human being before in his life.
Coconut
Yeah.
head.
Mmm,
What
that's good.
does that mean? Are you making fun of his shape?
The person, Ned's declassified school survivor guide?
Yes.
He
Do you
looks
remember
like
Coconut
Coconut
Head?
Head.
Oh my God. I don't
The
I'll,
think I've
hair.
heard
you're
this
gonna look it up. I'll
reference.
put it on the
Good
screen now
reference.
in the edit.
Yeah.
I'll put them
I
both
think
up
I,
there.
I called it out one episode
Wait,
because
this
it
isn't
was.
the guy that's been on the streets all viral
No,
on
that's
drugs,
a
is it?
different Ned's declassified B-list actor.
Oh my God, I actually did see that though. He was one of the like B-list stars and now he's like a drug addict.
Yeah,
That's
yep.
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah,
All right.
we're thinking of him.
Well, on that note, let's keep going to Shannon. There's too many options for Shannon. So I'll put this to committee. You have when she said she remembered being in the womb. You have doing the life force energy ceremony. You have praying to the waves, and you have the whole AI Jesus thing that she trained herself to for the game on. What's your favorite Shannon moment?
I guess the force energy like prayer circles that she made everyone do.
Mm,
I
And
liked how
then
she was so delulu in the end. Like
mm,
she had, just that last episode, she
yeah,
really thought she was doing something.
yeah. So not any of the things that I laid out. Then we had Nate. Nate was next to go. I remember Nate for just having to deal with Rizzo being young and speaking in a code that no one understands.
sorry.
Um, we'll keep moving. MC, any thoughts on MC?
I remember just Pat loving MC. Pat, I was always like, what's Pat gonna say about this? I bet Pat said MC would rock that challenge, and we were like, yep, that's exactly what he said.
I just
You loved
expected more.
MC.
I
That's what I
expected
remember
more out of
about
her.
MC.
I'm not the only one. Everyone expected more out of MC.
Yeah.
But
I
then even
want
after she left, you were like, who would I rock this challenge? MC for like
I
three
wanted to
straight
believe. I
weeks.
wanted to believe.
MC's number one fan right here. That's what I remember the most
Listen,
too.
Yeah.
her on that tower challenge that was like 20 feet tall, that was pretty good. When she
Yeah.
stood on everyone's shoulders. Then
Yep.
we had Alex, who I only remember because of when Jake got bit by the snake and he walked up to him and he was trying to read the survival guide. He's like, "Oh, it's not that bad." And he turned to the camera. He's like, "This is very bad."
Yep. That was probably his highlighting moment.
Then we had Juwan.
Oh,
The teeth.
there's a lot of things. He's precious.
I love Juwan.
Uncle calling Jeff uncle just over and over and over again.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, and
I
also
like
just
that.
like
All of its
stealing other
tribal
people's
reactions.
belongings.
Yep.
Whenever he shook his head yes to Savannah,
Yep.
oh my gosh. And then his reactions every tribal since he's been on the jury.
And the teeth.
Phenomenal.
And the teeth. Then you had
And the
Segretti.
teeth.
Segretti. Challenge beast that couldn't, I guess, can't be labeled a challenge beast because she only won like two. But that's because Savannah
He
got in
would
her
have
way.
been
If
them.
Savannah wasn't on the same season as her, I feel like she could have won 6 or 7 challenges.
I feel like she was kind of a nobody the first half of the game, and then she was a challenge beast for the other half of the game.
And
Yeah.
then before this episode, we lost Steven.
Oh, Stephen
Hmm.
and his stories.
His space analogies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought
Well,
Steven was cute.
what?
Like this, like cute, like no,
Oh,
You
cute.
okay.
Like, oh, cute. Yeah.
like baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, that was a brief walkthrough of who was on the season, which you might have forgotten because it feels like it was 1,800 years ago. But let's get into this finale with Rizzo, Savannah, Christina, Sage, and Valerdi. Spoiler warnings going up now.
Wee
All right. So we open with Jeff's classic speech, but his speech, I thought, I'm going to be honest, I love Jeff. The speech was terrible. He starts by like, this season, the beginning was like getting a tattoo, and everyone's dead set on sticking to their tribe alliances, and they're permanent. But then we switched up, and then nothing was permanent at all. And I was like, I don't think you know what a tattoo is.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't even remember this speech, so that shows you
Me
how much I
neither.
blacked out.
well, that's fine because we go immediately to beach life. And honestly, not much happened on the beaches this whole finale. We pretty much ran from challenge to challenge to challenge. It was like oops, all challenges in the finale. So
Mm.
on the beach, Rizzo immediately promise. Did I say too many isses? Promises is
No, you
Rizzo
got it.
says that there's going to be fireworks. I sound like Rizzo now. Rizzo says there's going to be fireworks, and he rubs in everyone's face that he bluffed the idol 9 times. And I wrote
Yeah.
down, is he bad at jury management? Because all he does is be like, I threatened to play this, and you guys couldn't do anything about it.
But I
But he's
think
so
he's calling out to the strategy and the strength of what he did.
Yeah, but he says it a lot. I feel like people started to get like frustrated.
Yeah.
he's so
He
goofy though
also
that it's just
Mm.
it's like Goofy
mm-hmm.
Goober.
Well, we won't know until next
Because
season, maybe.
he also continued our little boy band trend, and he said one boy on the beach, one boy on
Mm,
the beach. Just saying. I've been loving that
Hmm.
little
that bit.
theme.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really matter because we won't know until next season if it's any good. And then Valerdi has a moment where she's like, "Man, I was so stupid for that knowledge is power play." 'Cause if you remember, the last thing we talked about was she tried to drop a bomb on Steven, but Steven had already played the advantage. And she's going on and on about how bad that made her look. And Christina's just like, "Yep, that was awesome for all of us except for you. That was really funny for me."
Yeah. They're like it was legendary in the worst way.
Yeah. It made it so what happens next she desperately needed. So we're going right to it's not a direct challenge, but is a competition to earn an advantage in the next immunity challenge. And what pulls up the next morning but a boat?
God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay wait. Everybody calm down. No.
So we're getting the boat alarm going off. Players are told that they're going to have to race through the jungle to find puzzle pieces one at a time, and then
Hmm.
basically recreate the puzzle that Rizzo couldn't do in episode 1.
Yep. And then take
I'm
that
cook
puzzle,
chat.
find the advantage.
Yes, and find an advantage. They don't know what it is yet for what will be the final 5 immunity challenge. So, do you want me to just go through it, or does anyone have thoughts on this before I keep going? Because there's a lot to talk about. I don't want to word vomit at you, but I also don't want to like spend forever doing this.
I have thoughts on this,
Okay, go ahead.
but I think I cut Kyla off.
No, I just said I'm cook chat because that's what
Oh,
Rizzo said
Mm,
oh yeah.
when he saw what the
Um,
puzzle was.
there was the puzzle, yeah. So I wrote down Christina had no shoes on, classic. She's never ready for anything. This girl is going to be late to her own funeral, I swear to God. It's like, why don't you have freaking shoes on? You can see this boat coming from 20 minutes away and she just sat there. Like, God damn. I know
and
she
they
doesn't even get farther, but she doesn't deserve it.
In a game
Ridiculous.
where shoes literally almost saved someone's life because of the snake bite, no one's wearing shoes anymore. Anyway,
That's
so
just one thing that increased my Christina hate this whole episode, and we will identify more.
oh, you're gonna have a great time in
Hmm.
about 5 minutes then. So Savannah takes off. She takes the lead pretty quickly. She and Rizzo get to the puzzle at a similar time, and without wasting any time to figure out if he can do it or not, Rizzo's like, "Listen, I've seen this happen, if not twice, 3 times at this point in the season. I'm just gonna start cheating from Savannah." And he does the
The
same thing he did to
easiest
Alex.
puzzle.
But I still don't know what he's doing to cheat. He's like bringing his pieces over one at a
And
time
matching them
and then
up.
bringing them back, but putting them in like free space. And I'm like, that's not even cheating. You're just,
There
what
was
are you
only
doing?
like 8 pieces on this puzzle, too. It was not a big puzzle.
It looked like one of those children's pieces of puzzles at the
And
dollar store where it's like the size of your face.
Yep.
Um,
oh,
he's wild.
Riz.
He's consistent. He is consistent. What a goofball. So Savannah gets out into the jungle, and then eventually pretty much everyone but Christina catches up. She's just like walking like she's got cement in her legs.
Well,
Um,
Savannah running through back and forth, she really cemented herself a pretty big lead because she
yes.
obviously is the best endurance of the group. And here's my first little call out for my Breeze background knowledge of the week is I saw TikToks of Savannah talking about her training schedule before
Yeah.
Survivor. And she said that like 6 months before Survivor started, she started doing workouts like two workouts a day, 6 days a week, and she would match up like hit workouts, yoga, Pilates, and she would do all of that and do 48 to 60 hour fasts. So basically, like not eat for 2 or 2.5 days, then eat, then not eat for 2.5 days. And she didn't drink any water during her workouts, and she didn't have any caffeine or alcohol for like months and months.
That's
So
smart.
honestly, it makes all of this a lot more understandable when you know what she's been doing for the last like year.
Meanwhile, Rizzo's
Mhm.
just like, I've never seen a puzzle before. Um,
Yeah,
Well, unfortunately for Savannah and for
didn't
me
work
and
out.
Kyla and all of us, because we all have Savannah on our team, uh, she doesn't get the challenge advantage because she is looking around low and low. She's not looking high. It's where she should have looked. Um,
Hmm.
she's digging around. People catch up. Everyone starts digging around. Even Christina shows up at the last second looking on the ground. And it's Polarity that realizes, wait, has anyone checked a tree yet? And she finds it way high up. She struggles at first, but she ends up getting the challenge advantage down. And Polarity gets the challenge advantage going into the next challenge.
Well,
Hmm.
just slight correction. Sage is the one that says something to
Oh,
Belarity.
does she?
Yeah, but then Belarity goes in her one-on-one with the cam and says,
Hmm.
I started thinking about, but really they showed Sage go, I'm pretty sure it's not on the ground. And then Belarity goes, yeah.
Mm.
And
Hmm.
then Belarity
Mm.
starts going, oh,
See,
we got to look up.
this is what happens when you
Just
watch
saying,
it
Sage kind
once.
of ruined that for herself.
I
She
watched
should
it
have kept
once
her
10
mouth
days
shut.
ago. Yeah.
So
I wrote it in my notes on the night because I noticed it, but I also
Good for you.
rewatched.
Thank you.
What,
was
Brie?
Sage there during the like last scramble? Was she also present?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, she was.
Sage, yeah, because Christina was also there by the end, and Sage was before Christina.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
All right, we're gonna have to get out and restart in
Oh,
eight minutes, 8.5 minutes.
Oh,
Do we think we can get through the final five immunity challenge in that time?
yes.
All right, let's do it. We're going to the final five immunity challenge. All right, so this challenge is immunity and reward. No time for double challenges. We're already full up with challenges this week. The reward is going to be a day trip to the sanctuary for steak, mashed potatoes, wine, and carrot cake. And they're going to have to do a giant obstacle course. So players will end up crawling under a heavy net in mud,
Hmm.
then dig in the sand for like a grappling hook kind of thing, climb up a giant tower, get something else. I honestly can't remember what they got, truthfully. Slide down a big slide, run over, use the grappling hook to like keep themselves on top of a barrel that they're walking across like a 20-foot section of ground.
Hmm.
They're like pulling themselves on the barrel. They got to stay up on the barrel. Then they have to climb up to the puzzle platform, but while they're climbing, it's like a ladder jigsaw thing where like a key ring has to like Jenga itself. That's not even the right analogy. But it has
Right.
to like one of those things at like the fair when you have to move it without touching the pole. It's like a weird puzzle situation. You get up, you unlock your puzzle pieces, and you do like another logo. I don't know if it was the logo, but it was a big logo-esque puzzle. That's the challenge description. And Bolarity's advantage is that her key on the ring is already halfway up that like weird puzzle thing.
And this is my first note of the whole situation, which is that I think that advantage is bullshit because it's really not that good of an advantage.
No,
And
not.
I think that the advantage should have been to skip the mud because immediately we have people covered from head to toe in their eyes, in their mouths, mud,
That net's
and
heavy.
that net is heavy. And that should have been the skip because not only do you skip part of the challenge, but you're not obstructed by slippery, wet mud.
You can
And
see.
I have a bone to pick with the producers for that one.
Because remember, there was that one week where there was a disadvantage, like you had to carry 20 pounds of loose coconuts on your back. This is
Yeah.
Yeah,
nothing compared to that. Um, I'm
right.
glad you brought that Monette up though, Bree, because that is actually our first challenge gift of the week. There's this excellent camera shot of Christina coming out of the mud, and she like flicks her hair back, and you can see how much mud is like she spits it out, and it's in the air,
It's
and it's like
I'm looking at it right now. It's thick.
Nicole's in
That's
Nicole.
yeah, it's
milkshake.
bad. And it's not the worst it's going to get for Christina. I did not, I'm going to tell you right now, for anyone that watched it, I did not clip Christina almost dying twice. I thought that was too much to watch. And it was honestly, I'm shocked she's not dead. So let's get to that part. So Savannah and Rizzo get to the barrel before anyone else, and Christina's not far behind. But in her rushing, she slides down the slide and she gets bent in half, like in the worst way. I don't even know how to
Yep.
describe it, but she lets out a scream that like it made me squirm. To her
Yeah.
credit, she immediately was like, "I'm fine, do not pull me out." But they probably should have been like, "We're pulling you off this course." It was bad.
That made me eye roll.
Mm.
Yeah. No mercy from Kyla.
No.
Bree, do you have thoughts on Christina almost getting snapped in half backwards?
My notes say Christina almost died in all capital letters. So I just thought about her knees and I just thought
And her
about an
ankles.
ACL tear and I got all ooh, I couldn't think about it. So I
It was
don't
Own
know.
bad.
fault she landed like that.
Yeah. So while she's dying, everyone else is catching up. Rizzo and Savannah get to the ladder. Rizzo gets up first, but we all know he can't do puzzles, so he's basically done for the day. Um, he might as well not even be up at the top. Um, Belardi comes out of nowhere, passes Christina while she's on the ground in one of the times that she injures herself.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she
Sophie,
fell off that
yeah,
barrel like a
yeah.
shish kebab.
Well, I don't understand that analogy, but she does. Yeah, Christina falls off the barrel, and she not only does she jam her ankle and her knee into the ground in a way that would like also injure all of your lower body, she slams the back of her head on the barrel on the way down and like gives herself a concussion. And it's at this
Yeah.
point I was like, it's irresponsible to let her continue to do anything.
They're like, "Oh no, Christina's bleeding out from the lungs. Let's see how she makes it on the next
Meanwhile, there's
push."
Rizzo just trying to cheat off of no one because no one's up there yet. Yeah, so Belardi passes her during the concussion. Uh, Everyone eventually gets up there. Christina's somehow in one piece. Um, she's a heap of bones at this point. And Jeff gives a monologue about the women's challenge record, which we've talked at length about. And it's at that point that I knew that Savannah was, and she did get her fourth individual immunity win. Fifth individual win if you're counting that reward challenge. I think she should have the record. People will disagree with me, and that's fine.
What do you mean?
They say the woman's record is 4 individual immunity wins, which she has now tied. But don't forget, she's also won the individual reward challenge. So to me, she has 5 legit individual wins.
But we don't know if those other people ever won one of those, do we? To
I
be
don't
completely
think
fair.
they did, but I also didn't do the most amount of research I could have.
Mm.
Fair
So
enough.
officially, she's tied, but I raised questions.
Okay.
How much time
I
do we have?
support those
2 minutes.
questions.
We have 3 minutes left. That's fine. We cruise through that. Any thoughts on the challenge?
Did you finish it?
Yeah, that's it. That's all that happens. Savannah ends up choosing to take Sage on the reward. That's the last
I,
note.
I was questioning why Sage was taken on the reward.
Well, Savannah said that it was because she just admired her as a competitor since in the last episode, remember it was her and Sage on that balance beam ball situation. I think Savannah finally respected her as a player. You said, I think at the time, that you think she was pulling Sage out as like, this is your last meal and you're definitely being voted out next. So it's a mercy.
That is what I thought. I thought she didn't want to feed anyone that she was going to compete with the next day, and I think she believed that Sage was going home.
I think two things could be true.
Well, it's not
Kyle?
what happened.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Well, uh,
We'll never
let's
know.
let's get out.
But can I
Oh
just
yeah, go
say
ahead.
that this reward on in my ranking of different food, rewards, this one's pretty high. Steak, potatoes, wine, and carrot cake. I mean, it's pretty good.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'll say this.
That's
We haven't talked a lot about this season. I get nervous when they're like, also there's going to be alcohol. Not because like I would kill for wine or margarita, but if you've been out there for 20 days, not in the sun, not sleeping, and not eating much, I'd be worried that that would screw me up like at the next challenge. Like, would you end up with a bad hangover and it like messes
yeah.
with your muscles in some way, or you get more cramps, or like I'd be like, I don't want alcohol. I don't want to know what that's gonna like do to my decision. It's gonna affect me in weird ways. I would be nervous. No one seems to have a
Mm.
problem with it ever.
No, I've seen
But
people. Sorry.
no, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I've seen people say stuff they shouldn't have when they were like tipsy at the
Mm.
reward. I've never seen somebody uh hungover, but I've seen people eat too much and throw up from it. Um, Honestly, I'd be good with a crisp Diet Coke as the drink
Mm.
for every reward. That would be.
All right. Well, on that note, we got to get
We
out and
also
get
don't
back
know
in.
how much
We
they
got to
drank.
get
I
out
could
and
see
get back in.
someone.
Hold on. Save that thought.
Oh,
Ah!
All right. Before you were so rudely interrupted by me,
Yeah,
Kyla,
you
you say,
freaked.
well, because it said less than a minute left before you started talking, Bree.
oh.
It
I
did,
was
I
just
didn't hit
gonna.
the timer.
Okay, I was just saying that we don't really know how much they drink, but Brie just kind of said she's seen some things. But someone like Savannah, I could see her ceremoniously, clinking glass and maybe having a glass, but not more than that.
Hmm.
I think you could balance it a little.
There
That's my thought.
was 2 seasons ago, Bree, if you remember, Teeny would get drunk at the sanctuary and start telling everyone about everyone's advantages.
Yes.
I
Yep.
get I get why the producers do it. That's a great idea
Oh yeah,
but
every reality show ever.
yeah, I'm just
Even
saying
Can
if
I
that
I were a
one.
just
contestant, I would be nervous about that.
Yeah, for sure.
can I just call back to when we watched the old season, Pat, of Survivor, and
Yeah.
Kyla, they had like same thing. People went away for like a dinner and wine and whatever, the same old. But it was like a guy, it was a woman and a man, and the lady was like, I don't know if he's trying to get me liquored up and see what's gonna happen tonight. And there was all this like undertones of like a
Oh, yeah, it was
potential
very
like
uncomfortable.
hookup. And I was
Why?
like, I can't imagine that now, just like given the way that people are like, but it just was really funny because it was like, oh yeah, we're sitting here by the fire having a glass of wine. It's so romantic. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was weird.
jeez.
All right, let's keep going. It's the first of two Scrambos.
Scrambo.
So some of them get back to the beach. It's Rizzo, Christina, and Belardi. And Christina pitches Sage to the group because she correctly, in actuality, I think we can all dissect it because in the audience have all the information about who's got the advantages and how much power they have or don't really have. But if you're Christina in this moment, I think she correctly realizes it's either me or Sage because Savannah's safe. Rizzo has to play his idol. He's going to play it on himself,
That's
almost
right.
certainly on himself. Polarity's too connected to them. They're going to wait probably one more. They could go after Polarity, but Christina decides it's not even worth it because they just all seem too loyal at this point. So it's me or
Yeah.
Sage. It's not her, Sage. I think they would have flipped on Valerity if they had to, but you know, it's a game of what if. So she decides not to. She pitches Sage correctly to Rizzo and Valerity. They agree. But when Savannah gets back, she's like, I want to keep Sage. Let's get rid of Christina. And she pitches it. I really want to know your opinions on this. She pitches it because she specifically says none of us can go against Christina in fire making, which tells me two things. One, they all, even though they never say it, they saw what we saw at the last challenge. Christina's not making it through a challenge in one piece. She's not winning. That's off the table. If you keep her around, it's a game of 3 people, not 4 people. Just physically. She could die. Also, and second, did we ever see Christina light a fire before this at all? Ever?
Nope.
I was paying attention though.
Because the editors then, I feel like we haven't, because the editors then decide to jam in like a Rocky style training montage of her lighting fires like left and right like a freaking magician. She's just like setting fire to the camp and there's like intense music. And I'm like, did I miss a whole subplot of the season where she was apparently incredible at this skill? Because all I remember her is hurting herself and being afraid of birds. That's the only thing
Yeah.
I remember about Christina.
I don't think she has been a known like person to take care of camp and do the fire. So I do agree that this was a last minute ditch effort to try to bring us along.
Mm.
Well, are we saying that the producers are bringing us along with Savannah's?
Yes.
Yeah, because the
But-
whole thing, this is going to be a plot line of like the next couple parts of the episode when they're all like, oh, yeah, you're right. She is great at fire making. We should weigh that decision. But we've never seen her make a fire.
But they obviously had the montage to give us.
Yeah, but I'm saying
She
before
had to have
that
been making
point,
fire.
if they hadn't decided to stitch that 30 seconds together, I would have been sitting there like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, I don't think I've been paying attention to who's been making fires.
True. I remember Matt making a lot of fires. I
Mhm.
guess
Well, yeah,
back to
because he was like proving that he was the only one with skills,
right.
super skills.
And they
Who
were
else
on the
was-
same team. So she was
Yeah.
never part of that montage.
I was honestly surprised Savannah couldn't make a fire.
Well, see, I think that was all a mind game. I think
Well,
she could make a fire.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. There's a whole section on that. We'll get to it.
All right.
We'll
All
get to
right.
it. Let's continue to the tribal council, except it's not the only tribal council we're going to talk about. So this is the final 5 tribal council where we're going from 5 to 4. All right, so I wrote, and Bree actually so graciously changed her background. Steven enters with all but 2 buttons and a shirt unbuttoned. What are you doing?
I have no idea.
That's just a coat at that point, and you're already wearing a
Not
coat.
your-
You can see him over your shoulder. What is that fashion choice? That's like a Johnny Depp fashion choice. It's just uncomfortable.
I think he's trying to look cool.
Me too.
I mean, to be fair, I think he did look cool, but it was just, I was like, what? I've never seen someone wear a shirt like that.
I have. Very popular here in Atlanta.
In Atlanta to wear all but 2 buttons.
Amongst certain communities, yes.
Okay. All right. All right. I guess I don't get out enough. So Savannah's asked about the record. This is where I'm going to use my F-bomb because they're like, hey, how great does it feel to be amongst like Survivor Elite? She's like, I don't give a fuck about the record. I want $1 million. And I thought that was honest and awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some members of the jury kind of rolled their eyes, but I feel like the people that I would have thought were kind of on the fence about her, like MC was kind of on the fence about her, I thought they respected that answer because it was honest. She's like, that's great, but I'm not here to like be cool and then leave.
Right.
I think they were expecting her to lie or to say something different.
Right. It's like you might not like that answer, but she was honest.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think she wanted, I think she I'm giving her probably more credit than I should because she's on my team. I'll acknowledge that. But I feel like she also kind of knew, like, I already have a huge target on my back. People know I'm good at challenges. I don't need to be up here bragging about how I am better than other people at challenges. That's not going to help me.
Right.
So let me downplay it.
Back to my investigation before the show.
Okay.
She did also call out later in that TikTok or in another one that I watched where she said that the reason she felt like she won all of those was from the Pilates workouts and the core strength because a lot of them were like holding positions for a long time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of isometric holds for
Yes,
sure.
So
I agree.
everyone start doing Pilates.
The
Win
only other,
Survivor.
yes. The only other interesting thing that I think happens here, I defer to you two if you disagree, is that Christina and Sage then proceed to have the most uncomfortable fight that's also like a compliment battle. I didn't write everything down that was said because honestly I was so uncomfortable I couldn't even take notes. But it was like it was weird and backhanded, but also really nice, but also just like it was not comfortable. It looked like Rizzo and Belardi and Savannah, who were like physically sitting in between them, wanted to just be anywhere but there.
Yeah. And did one of the big things was when Sage basically told Jeff, I'm not done.
Mm,
I don't know if you recall that. So
yeah.
basically,
Yeah, he cut her off.
Christina is like trying to say something about everyone hugging Sage, and Sage is calling Christina out for saying, "Hey, that was like an out of game moment." And Jeff tries to ask a question, and Sage goes, "I'm not done." And I
Mm,
was like, "Oh," I got really uncomfortable. I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, that's when it turned from like weird to I don't want to watch this anymore. Um,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so let's not talk that much about it, because it was weird. Rizzo finally plays the idol on himself. No one cares. And Christina ends up being voted out 4-1 because you can't vote for yourself. So there's the one vote. Um, Last, since we didn't do Christina up top, anything you'll remember Christina by this season? If you had to pick one thing, I'll give you
Broke up
three.
for a second.
Yeah, you
I'll give you
froze.
three choices. One is this episode specifically when she almost dies twice. One is being afraid of birds and then being given the chicken reward.
When
And the third would be
she's falling off that log.
no, I was gonna say the thing about her mom when she like wills herself back onto the balance beam.
That's what I meant, the log.
Oh yeah.
That's what
Um,
that was going to be the one I picked. So
Is this supposed to be my favorite one
Just
piece?
if like what I think you'll remember her foremost.
I'm gonna choose the first one just because she had a lot of bad falls.
She did.
mm-hmm.
I think her almost dying was more indicative of how the game went for her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. Well, guess what? We get absolutely no beach life before the next challenge. We are going directly to the final immunity challenge.
Da-na-na.
So the final immunity challenge will be an obstacle course. This is the first time in a long time. I don't know how many seasons. I didn't research this. It's the first
Probably
time
since the new age.
yeah, I can remember where the final challenge is not a test of um like endurance, and I mean that as like the holding onto the poles or the water challenge or any of those. And it's not a focus challenge. It's not the ball challenge like Kyle had to do. There was like a weird Plinko puzzle thing that they had to do in season 46. Like it's not a 1-2 part challenge where you're just locked in on these things. This is a full obstacle course. There's no reward. The reward is you get, if you win, you get to choose who you take with you, which has always been the case. The description is going to be this. So, they have to swim to shore about 20 feet. It's really not far. I don't know why they started them in the water. I'll say this, running in the water, very difficult, but it's
Mhm.
I
not
think it was
far enough to be
because
interesting.
they were going immediately into digging in the sand, so that always adds a complication.
Yes. Because you're right. The next part is here's a log, and you got to dig yourself under the log. You're gonna have to cross a balance beam. It looks like I spelled balance wrong on the notes. Nice that that happened in front of everyone. And throughout the balance beam, they have to untie balls and one ball and two paddles. And the paddles go to something Bree would be very familiar with because the end
Yeah.
of the balance beam is Bree's birdcage challenge. I'm not going to clip it in here because I think I already put it in a past episode. But when we went to the Survivor Cafe with
You
Emily and
could.
Vic, all right, fine, I'll do it now.
Yeah, Bree. So now Victor, what the heck? Bree, let's go. Victor wants this, but he's coming from behind. Bree with the runaway.
When we went to the Survivor Cafe with Emily and Vic, this was one of the three challenges you could do, this specific component, the like bird cage. And Vic, Bree, and I competed, and Bree smoked us. There's a specific like method to it's not like you would think where you're like layering underneath. It's like there's a method to it, and Bree figured it out way before us, and she smoked us. So they're gonna have to do that. Once they get that ball out of the bird cage, they have to, because there's always time for a puzzle, assemble it's going to be the ball maze like balance task, but they're going to have to assemble the path for the ball as like a puzzle, which
Right.
had even fewer parts than the first part of this episode. It had like 3 or 4 parts. There's not
Right.
that many components. It's actually the same, almost the same ball maze balance thing as if you remember the episode where Eva in season 48 last season has the episode and Joe comforts her. It was like an awesome episode.
Yes.
It's like the same challenge part as that. So how it goes is that Rizzo is the first to the balance beam. And once again, Belardi cannot do the first obstacle. She cannot dig herself under the log. It takes her maybe 10 minutes.
Well,
I
let me
counted
just
her
say,
out. We'll get back to her. But at the time,
no,
I
but
counted her out.
I have a specific thing to talk about right now.
Okay.
Another TikTok lore that I've uncovered, with all of my scrolling, so you're welcome everyone, is that apparently she has a really big butt. And we don't really see it a lot during the show because she's always wearing those like parachute pants, but apparently she's got a really big butt.
You
And
got it up.
so I had thought about this when she was trying to get under because it was her butt that was stuck. So I was like, there's that butt.
It's like those videos where they roll the bars. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
Yes.
I
Someone
do know
else
what you're
is on
talking
gym
about.
reels.
Yeah.
Okay. And it hits the butt.
Well, thank you, Bree, our senior butt correspondent.
This is not the first time butts have been talked about in this podcast, and it won't
And
be
it's
the
not
last.
going to be the last. Wait,
And
when
it's
was
not
the
going to be
first
the
time?
last.
When did we talk about butts before this?
When
That
I talked
player,
about Big Dumper.
the Tumper.
Oh, yeah. So dumb. All right. We're getting off the rails here. So,
Sorry.
Rizzo and Savannah get to the balance beam at roughly the same time. And Rizzo, Savannah, and Sage kind of get to the bird cage at once, and it humbles everyone. It's kind of a race to figure out Bree's strategy first. Rizzo actually ends up doing what Bree did with her like paddle thing and gets to the last part before everyone else. But once again, although it may only have 4 pieces, it's a puzzle. So Rizzo is basically done. This is the challenge. He's once again, I cannot believe you couldn't accidentally be better at a puzzle.
I just have no words.
It's like, is he like, well, this is my bit now, and I'm gonna lean into it and not even try? Like, how could you not? Of all the puzzles, it's like there's four pieces. There's four
And he just
pieces,
has to.
and he had a lead. He's not even on my team. I'm arguing for Kyla, the only one here with Rizzo on our team. So bad. Anyway, so he's basically done. So now we're down to Sage and Savannah get to the puzzle. Eventually, Polarity catches up too. And by the time she catches up, I could be wrong. I'll let Kyla correct me. I think Savannah has a ball, one of the two balls already in the pocket by the time Polarity gets there.
I don't recall.
I feel like if not has one in the pocket, she almost does. Polarity gets there real late. She ends up, once she gets her puzzle taken care of, flies through the ball challenge. Came out of nowhere with the skill, and Polarity ends up winning, which is our last. This well, not our last challenge. This is our last immunity challenge GIF of the week. I got one more for you. I'll put it on
Yeah.
screen. But you can see how surprised she was because I forgot she was even in this challenge. That's how far back she was at one point.
Happy that she won something. Happy that this was a, monumental moment for her. I think that this cost me the game, so pissed about it in general, but
Yes, I agree. I think she needed it. This gave her one
yes.
more thing to like potentially sway the jury after that knowledge is power debacle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think winning the challenge advantage was not enough because she didn't then go ahead to win that challenge, you know?
True. She
So
actually
that's
squandered that.
yeah, so that's basically nothing. She needed this.
Good.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
I do have thoughts on the Scrambo, but I know we're not there yet.
Well, if we have no other thoughts, we are at the Scrambo, so go ahead.
Well, I think the first thing that we get to when we get back to the beach is Valerity telling everyone that she's just going to think about what her move is going to be and just give her some space. And we don't have to have like the niceties of all these conversations because they're already very close. It's not like she doesn't know them.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
my thing
true.
is, I respect that because I feel like you've been taking in information this whole game. You've been with these people for a month already. I don't need another conversation or a reason why you want to win or a reason why you think I could beat you at the final. Like for me, I would just want to sit and think about it. Savannah kind of threw a little fit about this later on, and I personally don't know why she is because I think that's exactly what she would have done. I don't think she would have needed the nicety conversation either. So I was surprised at that response from Savannah.
I agree. I don't want to cut off Kyla. Kyla, do you have your thoughts? I can go last.
Oh, no, it was okay. I agree that Savannah would have done the same thing, but I'm not surprised Savannah got angry that Soph did it.
Hmm.
Because I think she expects Soph to be an easy player to manipulate, and
Like
that
play with her
backfired.
heart type of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what they've used Soph this entire time as kind of like a little pawn. And
Mm.
then she starts claiming that Soph is her best friend in the game, which I'm like, no, Rizzo is. So I don't know. I think it was just Savannah getting angry that she wasn't able to spout her strategic play.
Sure.
Fair.
I will say this because Bree talking made me think at this point, and I forgot it, so I have to stall again. Um, I I feel like there's two ways to take it, and we never really see the way Valerity does it because you're right. It's like there's no like I know you all, and also this is what I was thinking of. If I'm Soph, I'm sitting there like I don't want to have too many conversations with someone and give them the opportunity at Final Tribal to say that you influenced me into making the decision and take away this because this is like her whole game is now this moment because she screwed up the knowledge of power. You cannot give someone a window to say, "Well, I helped influence you," because now you don't even have to
Yeah.
move anymore. So I get it. I think what we usually see is people are like trying to be fair about it and not trying to ruffle any feathers. Probably last minute jury management because one of those people is going to be on the jury and like, let me be fair and talk to everyone. But again, I agree with why she didn't do it.
Mhm.
Also, because I'm not always pro Savannah. I mean, I'm pro Savannah, but
Yes, you are.
Everyone, like, no, but I'm trying to say, like, get over it. Everyone should practice fire in case anyway. Even if I think my best friend's there, you should be practicing fire. You don't know what's going to happen.
Mhm.
No.
Even if even if it was Bree and I on the island, I don't know what Bree's going to do. People make choices the last second that are either smart or bad, or like you don't know what's going to happen. Just practice fire, and at that point, that's all you can do to control your destiny. If you're at the point in this game where you're truly like, this person's decision screwed it up for me, then you didn't do enough. I don't think Savannah needed to put herself like get over it. You're fine. But of course, it doesn't really matter because Savannah's a natural at fire. Of course, she is. She's a natural. She's like, I never practiced before in my life. And that may be true. She destroys fire making. She's so good
Yeah.
at it right away. Rizzo, horrible.
This made me think of your mom, Pat, because she was like, he's from Brooklyn. What does he know? And I was
I
like,
thought of
he's
that.
from
I thought of
Brooklyn.
that
He can't
too.
make a fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought of that too. So let's go to tribal council, but it's fire making this time. Because it's not a real tribal council, they're not going to vote, but they're doing it in front of the jury. Bolarity decides to put Savannah and Rizzo in fire making. I think that's her best move at this point.
For sure.
Because you can't take
Yeah.
out. I think if she puts herself in, she's probably not that good at fire either. So it's too much of a risk to get beat by whoever you put yourself against, and then you're an idiot.
How embarrassing would that be? That'd be worse than the
Yeah.
knowledge
It's
is
happened
power.
before, so you don't want
Yeah.
to do right. So you can't do that. Excuse me. Um, you can beat Sage, probably. You have the best chance against Sage in final. Rizzo, you don't really trust him, but she honestly, seeing not to get too far ahead, seeing how good Belarity was with her words at Final Tribal, I think she could have beaten Rizzo. I don't know that Rizzo is always the most articulate kid. I think he's lovable and people like him, but I think Belarity could have had a shot at beating Rizzo.
I don't think so.
Closer than Savannah, though, if you're weighing her current options, she's never going to beat Savannah. So I think her choice was smart as to put those two in. Fortunately for her, it doesn't work out because fire making is the one thing that Rizzo cannot cheat off of someone to make, which leads to our one and only fire making gif of the season, which is Juwan doing what I was doing at home, going, "Oh man, what's gonna happen?" And then it flashes to Savannah beating the crap out of Rizzo in fire.
Yeah.
Who's just looking like, how do I take my sticks and run over and match them up to her fire and then come back and lay him out in the same way on my thing. He got smoked.
There was no world for me where Savannah didn't make the top three, whether she had to win it, talk her way into it, or fire her way into it. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I agree. So Rizzo is now gone. He gives a great, I don't remember it, but he gives like a really heartwarming speech when he goes to leave. Um, since he was one of your last tribe members, Kyla, would you like to do the honors in talking about what you'll remember Rizzo for this season?
Wait, can we talk about how he ends here though?
Oh
When
yeah.
he asks
It's the
Jeff
floor
to
is the
call him
floor is
by his
yours.
nickname.
You get to be our Rizzo correspondent right now.
Okay. Well, what Rizzo talks about is that he wanted to make an impact and he feels like he did. And then he goes on to ask Jeff if he could call him by his nickname while he snuffs his torch. And Jeff does, which I thought was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I will mostly, honestly, Rizzo made me cry multiple times this season, just being very, I felt authentic, and talking about his family was very touching. And I just thought he was goofy and funny, but kind of reminded me of my dog Raisin, just could not kind of get it together on the challenges, like a little floppy fella.
Mm-hmm.
But we love
A Muppet.
him.
I'll say this. I think I probably speak for most people. I speak for everyone in that when we first heard of this kid calling himself Riz God in the trailer, all the way back when season 48 ended, we were all like, oh
I
no,
know.
this is gonna be bad. I'm gonna hate someone. He really, really impressed me for someone that
Yeah.
I was so dead set on not liking. I
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
really like him a lot.
Can we talk about how young he looks when they start showing him post getting voted off too in his
Yeah, when he
like
gets
camera
like a
shots?
chance to
Oh my
shave and
gosh, he
yeah.
looks like a baby now that he's like fed and washed.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
whoa, he's a
Yeah.
child.
I don't think without getting too far ahead to 50, I don't think he can win 50. Like I don't like him as like a great player, but I genuinely do like him as like a person, I feel like. He's
Yeah,
I like Bree.
agree.
I agree with everything that was said. He's a good, lovable kid, and couple more years on his shoulders, and maybe he'll be able to make something out of it.
All right.
Three girls on the beach, three girls on the beach.
Yes. I didn't put that in the notes, but I did write it down on my phone. Is Sage, Polarity, and Savannah taking a victory lap when they get back to the beach, doing three girls on a beach. Um, that was funny. All right,
Now,
should
I
we?
have a question
Okay.
for the last segment that we end up on the beach, and I think I've asked this every week. Did they ever eat all the chickens? Is teriyaki still
Oh,
there?
we have not seen them kill and eat the other two.
What a waste.
They could have, but it's never come up as a in the edit.
What a
Instead,
waste.
we got a couple extra minutes of Christina in a like a montage of fire making. If they didn't talk about Christina's fire making, maybe we would have gotten another chicken killed. Who knows?
Battle update.
Again, this just parallels to me that in the first season they were trying to send something down to the tribe and they like used cans of dog food as like a weight and people ate
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit and were eating cans of dog food because they were trying to survive. And now you have literal chickens running around. A full meal is walking by and they're not being eaten. It's just wild to
I don't
me.
think Kyla
I
knew
can't.
that. Yeah, they do.
No.
One of the tribes is like, this is dog food, and someone tries it and almost throws up, and they're like, we're not that desperate. And then it cuts to the other tribe, and they're like, they're lapping it
Easy.
up. They're like, this is pretty bad, and I want to throw up, but I'm gonna eat. And they just like they go through all the dog food. It's crazy.
Oh, I don't know if I
It's
could do
crazy.
that.
And you know what?
Yep.
You know what, Bree? The tribe that eats all the dog food is the tribe that wins the chickens. They do the chickens on like the second ever episode. They name them
Yeah.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have one or two of them. They end up eating all the dog food, and then right before they merge, they kill the last chicken. Because like we got to eat it before the other tribe gets food,
Yeah.
and then that
Smart.
tribe gets smoked. All right. Should we move on to the final tribal council?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. I didn't write down that many things for this, not as much as I expected to. I just, I've personally never been that interested in Final Tribal Council. It's like
Hot
people,
take.
hot take. And you can disagree with me, but in old school Survivor, which I'm sure we'll talk about this episode, everyone's just mean and already has their opinion formed, so I don't care. Like I care to watch them be mean to each other, but I'm not like who's gonna win because I'm like whatever. And in New School Survivor, they're kind of all saying nothing. And because so much is jammed into the finale, we're not getting the full conversation. We're getting like a 2 minute edit of Final Tribal. So it's just like a lot of surface level stuff that gets put in the edit. And I'm like, this doesn't sway my decision either way. It's like rarely does something happen that I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, it's at this point, I feel like the game is what it is unless you absolutely cannot talk about yourself. That's my opinion. Anyone
Mm.
agree, disagree?
I think it could
Uh,
change people's opinions and vote.
yeah, I think some people go into it not knowing who they're going to vote for, especially those that are voted off on the earlier half of the jury, because they miss a lot of
Hmm.
they only get tribal. They miss a lot of the meat of what's going on. I
Oh,
don't think
I'm
someone,
sorry. I'm not saying that the jury like can't be swayed. I'm just saying like me at home,
Oh,
I'm like
oh,
just because of what they put in the edit, like that final tribal takes longer than what we see for sure.
oh, of
And
course,
I
yeah,
have
yeah,
notes
yeah,
on what we didn't see, which would
yeah,
be
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
interesting. But I mean, as a viewer, it's never as interesting to me as if I was actually there.
So my thing is, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, I think it was a lot better set up when they had two people vying for the jury votes. I think the three people really creates a dynamic that's hard to adjust to because you're not just looking at two different styles of gameplay, you're looking at three. And typically, as is it was this time, two of the three are in some type of an alliance or are playing off of each other, and then the worry is always about splitting those votes. And then you typically, we didn't this time, but you typically end up with a no vote third who's just there filling a seat. So I think the biggest change to that would be, or the best option would be to not have three people.
I agree.
I like that.
Kyla, as a newer fan of the show, what are your thoughts on Final Tribal?
I've only seen two. Um, I don't feel like I have a lot to compare it to, but I do like the take that Bree just said about the three. I do
Yeah,
think it is difficult. And then to your point, Pat, if there were only two, maybe we would get to actually like see in depth a little bit more
right.
answers.
Right.
But it
Also,
was, I know we're gonna get two more, but it was interesting to kind of see the alliances like argue there at the end a little. Like kind of
mhm.
disagree a little.
Yes.
But I guess you could see that if two people were in an alliance and in the final,
Yeah,
regardless.
yeah, yeah. I also missed the montage where they didn't do the finale live right there with the champagne and pizza. They used to take the votes and then Jeff would take the urn. And he used to go on these like James Bond style
Yeah, it would be a crazy
movie
edit.
cuts of him jumping on a helicopter, getting off on a jet ski, jet skiing across, like it was crazy. And then he would show up somehow at an LA or wherever they were
Yeah.
going to be, and there would be a full audience. And I feel like that was really exciting
Um,
because then you got to see the two, it was two at that point, people come back all like glammed up because they've gone
Yeah.
home. And I just missed that. I hope they bring that for 50.
I would be shocked because that was one of the things you could vote on for 50. I'd be shocked if they didn't bring back the live reunion. Yeah, Jeff would leave and they'd like film him jumping on a jet ski. And then because they'd film all that like a year before. And then they just do like a weird bit where he walked into the soundstage a year later. They'd cut to like a live taping. Um, and they so no one would know who won until the actual reunion with America.
that's fun.
But to do that, they have to have insane policies about like the jury not revealing who they voted for, not talking to each other about it would be difficult.
It
Regardless,
would.
I agree with that point as well. Let's talk about I have a few notes, and with these notes, I have notes on what we did not get allegedly in the edit. That's probably, I think, more interesting. So, uh,
Hit us.
Sage lays out how she's a badass and was in the army and is actually really observant and I think a good read of people, and the jury doesn't care at all. They're like, yeah, great, whatever. Now, what we didn't get, and you can kind of see this if you go back and watch it, but apparently what we didn't get in this edit was that there was more questions asked of Sage, and she said more, and the jury like hated her and were kind of rude to her, allegedly. Didn't see it, so I don't know if it happens, and were like really giving her the cold shoulder. And part of that apparently was they all felt like she backstabbed her, which my question is, did she really? And the other part that I think they felt, which I do agree with, is how many of the moves that she made were solely her own. You can be great at reading people and going along with plans, but every time they asked her, like, what's something you did that you were proud of, she was kind of like, this is what we all did, and I helped push. And they were like, what did you do?
Mm.
And we didn't get as much of that in the episode.
The only thing I can think of is Steven did ask her a direct question. That was the theme
Yeah.
about backstabbing.
Yes.
I don't remember what the question is off the top of my head. But I do agree that that was Sage's strategy, though. She kind of played middleman and then chose which side she wanted to choose. So she wasn't really pushing strategy. She was moving with
Keeping
strategy
herself
almost.
safe instead of pushing other people out.
Yeah. So I think some people could have seen that as backstabbing
Oh, for sure.
when, yeah, I get
Yeah.
why they feel that way.
Oh, for sure. I'm
Um,
not saying they're unjust per se. I'm just saying apparently there was a side that we didn't see that was much more directly hostile towards her.
Hmm.
yeah.
Which, if it
Yeah, I
was
could
that
see that.
hostile, doesn't surprise me they took it out. But we didn't see it. That would have been something to see. You know?
That would have been interesting. I would have wanted to see who asked what, who was really angry. I
Right.
mean, my bet's kind of probably on MC and Soph, whatever one she
Segretti.
is.
Yeah.
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 So the other note I have here, and I'm sure this is like the obvious thing to talk about here, is Christina's question. Let me say what background knowledge I have as well before we dive into it, because I think that's almost more interesting than like what do we have to say? Christina asked a question that people are going to have varying opinions on how Savannah did, and that's fine. That was basically like, tell me the names of two people in our lives. Like, how much did you get to know us as people? And how it's presented in the edit is that Savannah can't do it. And it's my personal opinion, you can disagree with this, that she did fine and she kind of owned it, was like, listen, I can't do that. I'm not going to pretend, and I'm sorry if I can't do that. But also, like, that's not why we're here. I thought she did fine. I'm not saying she did great, but I thought given the fact that she couldn't do it, I personally felt like she owned it and was like, okay, let's move forward. Other people would disagree, and that's fine. What we didn't see, and this is what I really want to get into, is apparently because Christina asked that of Savannah. She didn't ask any questions to the other two, and apparently Belardi and Sage both called her out for like, well, to be fair, like you don't have a question for us because
Hmm.
it's like one, you didn't give us a chance to then shine in tribal. Like maybe Belardi clearly could have done it. She was mouthing the names the whole time. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
also, and this is where you get into the whole like old versus new school Survivor because it was kind of a very old school attack on Savannah,
Hmm.
which has its own merits. But was like, so did you just ask that to make her look bad? That's not what this is supposed to be. This is us presenting why we have the bet. Like, why didn't you ask us? That's kind of like, what's the validity there? If you just showed up to go after her. We didn't see that conversation. And you can have your own opinions on that, and that's fine. The other thing I'll say, too, to Christina's credit, is if you go back, someone else found this, I didn't. If you go back to the pre-game press stuff they did, Christina had planned to ask something like this 2 days before the game started. So she didn't necessarily come up with this question to target Savannah, but she did only ask Savannah, presumably for a reason. I'll leave it at that. I'll let you two offer your opinions.
I'm a Savannah stan, but I don't think what Christina did there was anything wrong with it. I think she was trying to make a point, and I think that's okay. Also, it would have been kind of dumb to then move on to the next person and say answer that same question
Sure,
because she could have
sure.
named people. I thought Savannah did okay. She could have done better.
Yes, yes,
But I also agree that wasn't her gameplay. So I actually don't blame Christina at all for asking this question. I, but Savannah, ooh, she could have done better.
sure. Bree, before we get your
Bree?
thoughts, we're gonna have to get back out and get back in.
All right.
All right, we're back. I barely got that one off. I want you to know we were back down to less than a minute where it doesn't give me a countdown anymore.
Oh boy.
That's on me for time management. All right, so we close on Final Tribal. Bree, you were giving us your thoughts on Christina's question before we go over the outcome and then ultimately the outcome of our league, which is what most people are probably here for in the first place.
Well, I have thoughts on Christina, but I have other thoughts too. So
Okay,
you
well,
just
you know
gotta.
what? Just go until you want to go.
All right. That's
We're on the
great.
new
That's what I
Zoom, so
love.
you got 40
I
minutes.
have another thought too.
Okay,
That's what I.
whatever.
That's what I
Everyone
love to
speak.
hear.
I don't care.
Oh my gosh,
I don't.
Bree.
Is that
What
I
are
my
you
don't think I can
doing?
pull.
Are
Yeah,
we
I don't think I
robbing the
can pull
store?
that
What are we
off.
doing?
I just found it. Anyway,
It's always
so
good to try new fashion choices on air.
yeah, it didn't work for me. Anyways, so I'm very much in the same camp as you, Kyla. I thought the question was fair, and honestly, this could be the smartest thing Christina's done the whole time. She really didn't impress me this whole time, but I think the best thing that she did was take this approach with Savannah because it was undeniably her weakest side, her social game.
Yeah,
And she didn't take the time to foster relationships, whether that served her well or not. I personally, as a jury member, would have reconsidered based on her answer that despite what your game is, you could have taken the time to get to know people for some brief amount of time because you have to remember that everything we don't see is them just hanging out. They're talking about their lives, their family, their jobs. So the fact that she couldn't remember one single thing about those people, if I was on the jury, would make me think for a second, wow, does she deserve to outwit, outlast, outplay? Because for me, part of playing is the social game. So I respect the question. Also, I respect the answer. She did the best she could have to get out of it, but I think she could have done better by knowing those things. I think she should have.
Sure. Does anyone have thoughts on Christina? Because I do have one more thing for Christina specifically.
No, no, Christina.
All right. We have one more contribution from my mom.
Mm.
It starts about Sage, but it ends on Christina. So now is probably the best time to get to it. I don't want to forget about it. Let's check in with our senior Sage / Christina correspondent, Heidi.
Hey everybody, happy holidays. This is Heidi, the most senior correspondent in the group. Just checking in for the last time of 2025. Hopefully you've all seen the finale by now. I'm sure I wasn't the only one surprised by Sage's reveal about being in the military. I will say well played by her. I definitely changed my mind about her as the season went on. Yeah, and since myself, I'm not really into all the drama and more on the challenges, I will say I was not surprised at all by Christina throwing herself around the course or Rizzo barely making it through the course, but I am proud of Sophie for pulling one out in the end. Again, everybody have a great holiday season. We'll see you all in the next season.
Thank you, Mom. I appreciate that. All right, back to Final Tribal. General thoughts on Final Tribal before we talk about the outcome.
Well, one thing I just wanted to call out that it doesn't happen immensely in this season. Sorry, my charger fell out, so you see me struggling. It's because I'm trying to plug it. Okay, so one thing that doesn't happen immensely, but it sort of happens with Jawan and Sage, is another thing that bothers me is when people don't take their job as a jury member seriously to clearly evaluate who should win, and they let their own emotions either prevent them from voting from someone, like they have a grudge, or they just vote for someone because it's like, I really had a good connection with Sage. And it's like I'm not taking anything away from Sage's game because that's a different question. But my whole thing is if you're only voting for someone because you became friends on the island, not if they should deserved $1 million, I don't think you're doing your job as a jury member.
Sure. But you know what it gets to? Not to flash forward to the score yet. For the first time in ages, and I mean ages, we have like everyone gets a vote. There's no
Yep.
0 vote finalists.
Yep.
Kylie, your thoughts?
The only other thought I had that was interesting is when Savannah kind of goes after Soph in this little final section. Specifically, I've never heard the saying before, loyal to the soil.
I've heard it
I
before.
have not
Like
heard it.
loyal
Pat
to
has?
like till death.
Oh,
Till they put us in the soil.
I should have Googled this before coming on this podcast. That makes sense because Soph tries to kind of go at Savannah and she's like, no, I wanted you and Rizzo to be sitting here next to me. I'm loyal to the soil. I would have never done what you did. It's like, like a last ditch effort to get some some votes on her
to
side.
that point, if she was loyal to the soil, you could have picked one of them to come with you to the final and put the other one in fire making. Is that what you just said? Did I mishear you?
No, Savannah said she was loyal to the soil.
Okay, then I'll shut up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, kind of against yeah, exactly that. Against Soph being like, I wouldn't have done what you did.
Yes. Okay. All right,
That's
should we talk about the
That's all I got.
outcome?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, as alluded to, Juwan votes for Sage, and we know that because he draws the little blackets in a jar. We had to pause it on the vote being read. We had to pause it on the vote being read. I
That's
figured it
wild.
out. Um, it's
You did.
funny. It's great for the league. It's a little rude, but it's great for us. Good job, Juwan. His best contributions to the show have been when he was voted out. Um, MC and Christina will vote for Belardi,
Hmm.
and which means Alex, Rizzo, Steven, Nate, and Segretti will be the ones to crown Savannah our season 49 winner. Savannah wins. We all have Savannah. That's awesome for us. But as we'll get into, it's actually not awesome enough. Um, Thoughts on Savannah and or Rizzo specifically as they're coming? Well, I guess you know what we should do? We should do what we did for everyone else. Thoughts on Sage and Belardi, and then we'll do Savannah. What will you remember Sage for? Is it the weird comment?
Black kids.
Yeah, it's the weird
I
comment.
just didn't like her.
She came
She's
into the
very
game talking
unlikable to
about
me.
urinating in front of people, and she left the game not talking about that, but still weird.
Yeah, she wasn't my favorite.
What about Belardi? People have been real hot and real cold on Belardi. I feel like I've been in the middle this whole time, but I know people have texted me in this league that are like, she needs to go, she's the worst, and people have texted me like, she's the best. Thank God I have her on my team.
I'm cold.
You're cold?
Hmm.
Kind of middle on her.
What are you going to remember her for? I think it'll be the knowledge is power being blown.
Ruined.
Yeah, that's definitely it for me.
If
And that she could have stole Rizzo's idol.
she could have sold Rizzo's idol, and that probably would have won her the game, I feel like.
And being down to 2 on the blue tribe. She was the
Mm.
last 2 on the blue.
2 on
You
the
could-
blue.
That's her final tribal speech right there. Is I came from nothing to the kid that threw his idol in your face. 9 tribals. Well, then I stole it. I assured my spot. It's all right there. God. All right. How about Savannah?
Well, let me just say, I have loved Savannah from the beginning, before we even started playing. Once I was assigned her and I found her on TikTok, I commented on her video and I was like, "You're the next winner."
You did.
And
You
Oh,
showed me
you were
that.
assigned her? You didn't choose her?
No,
I
but
was
Oh,
assigned her.
Bree's right. She showed me. She pulled it up for me in August before the show started. She commented on Savannah's TikTok. This girl's the next winner. She showed it to me. She's right. She's right about that. I'll give her
And
give
Amazing.
I've been
give
a
Bree her
fan ever
flowers.
since. I've been a fan ever since, and I'm glad she won. And I hope she sticks it to those people at the news station that screwed her over.
Oh my God. You think those people are shitting their pants?
I
I
want to
will
know which
say,
news station.
I
I never
know.
looked it up.
I will say I did some research about what she is using the money for, if this is an appropriate time to talk
Yeah,
about
let's
that.
do it. Yeah.
Yes, please.
She was talking about how she even said in her speeches that she doesn't have some like crazy story about like, saving my mother from some type of like medical treatment or something like that. But she said, I am going to invest a lot of it. And she did take a 2 or 3 week trip to Thailand. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Trip to Thailand.
Yeah, that is cool.
Um, I will say this because we're getting pretty soon, we're getting to Survivor 50. We'll tease it at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
I think it's very clear whether you love them or hate them, why Rizzo and Savannah are coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're, again, love or hate, great personality. Savannah acknowledged this in her exit interview. Like, she knows she's being portrayed as a villain, and she's okay with that. Like, she's exciting to watch. She makes good decisions. Again, disagree or love her. She's really good at making
I
this
didn't
better.
think
I see why they
she was
brought her
that
back.
villainous.
Hmm?
I really didn't think she was that villainous.
I think relative to the new era and how nice people have been to each other lately, she was played the most I've seen like an old school player. I think if she was on season 20, she'd just be like everyone else. But I think on season 49, it's like we haven't seen someone play with this kind of not not meanness, but intensity that is often perceived as meanness in a long time.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Intense for sure.
I'll say this too, because we'll talk about this when we do our season 50 preview weeks and weeks from now. We're gonna take some time off. Savannah and Rizzo were asked to be on 50 the day after they finished shooting. So they all go back to Ponderosa.
Wow.
They wake up the next day, and one by one, Rizzo is pulled into a 10 on a Zoom with Jeff. And then Savannah is pulled in like 20 minutes later after Rizzo's been talking to. And that is when they offered them a spot on 50. They said, we're starting filming in 2 weeks. So you can go home for 2 weeks and you get to fly back out. The spot is yours if you want it.
Mm.
And they added them to 50.
Yes.
I get why they did it, and it means not to sway anyone's opinion because I think their gameplay speaks more for itself than these facts. I'm not in the podium, so don't listen to me talk about how I'm going to pick my players. I think the fact that they were out there for 25, 26 days and then only had 26 or had only 2 weeks, 14 days to prepare and recuperate is a lot more interesting than someone that's maybe on 50 that had months to prepare. That's all I'll say about that. Make your own decisions. Consider it.
All right.
Should we get into league matters? We're closing out the league. We're going to talk about our winner finally.
Yes.
All right, let's do the scoring plays from this giant finale episode. All right, scoring plays. There was only one vote, so the majority voting goes to Rizzo, Savannah, Segretti. Sorry, it should say Sage. That's a mistype. Sage and Belardi, because they voted Christina out. Belardi gets points for earning a challenge advantage, although she did nothing with it. Excuse me. Rizzo gets points for playing an idol. Now, it's not the maximum amount of points because it was definitely not a secret, and he didn't need to, but he still gets points for it, which is pretty good. Savannah and Belardi both earned individual immunity, different challenges. Kind of thank God that Savannah didn't win twice, although that would have been amazing for the record. In terms of my spreadsheet, I do not know how I would have put that in, so they really saved me on that one. Savannah wins a day trip to the sanctuary. Sage wins being chosen for a day trip to the sanctuary. Savannah gets credit for fire making, which is the same as an immunity win, points-wise, I think. I'd have to go back and check. Sage wins points for coming in third place for the game. Belardi wins points for coming in second. And Savannah obviously wins a buttload of points for winning Survivor 49.
Mm.
That is your final scoring update of the season. All right, let's get into these final season standings. All right, so it is time to talk about the final season standings. And per usual, we're going to start in the bottom half of the league. Am I only covering up the tiebreakers
No,
right
I
now?
do think you should go to the other side.
You think the other side?
Yeah, you're in the
Am
middle
I on the
right now.
tiebreaker side or the rank side?
You're in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Middle.
Dead middle.
What about this?
That's better.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, so while it's not the winner, in fact, it's quite the opposite. The most interesting and funny thing to me is that Brian comes in last. It's not funny because it's Brian. I'm not trying to be mean. But Brian with Y'all Need for Jesus, well, y'all need to score more points because you finished the season in 26. And it's funny to me because Eric was in last place the entire season. At one point, he was projected to only score 60 points. Beats Brian by half a point. Eric with Survivor, I hardly know her, in 25th. Finishing the season in 24th is Megan with Buffs and Bad Blood. Not your strongest showing. Sharon and Faith are actually tied at 22nd with F Bomba and the Red Cardinals, but Faith had a better consistency metric than Sharon, so she wins the tiebreaker. Ahead of them is Scott, who is also out for a long time with the Beachcombers. Kelsey finds herself above the people that were out of the game for a couple weeks. She gets above Exile Island. Kelsey with the Toto Tribe in 20th. Connor makes a big leap with Snuff My Torch. He is actually tied with Emily W. of Life of a Showgoat, but Emily W. was more consistent this season, so she gets 18th. Smith in 17th with Gloria's Ripping Gainers. Brad, the inaugural winner of Season 1 of Survivor Fantasy Island, falls to 16th. Now, Brad of Braddy's Baddies, actually tied with Vic of Jury Duty, let me add. Brad uh, might be in 16th out of 26, which is not bad. But if you remember last season, for what it's worth, we only had 16 people. So in a little bit of a way, it's like he fell from first to last place. Mikey, beloved Mikey of Wanahakalugi. I love Mikey. Mikey just finishes outside of the top half in 14th. Any thoughts on the bottom half, ladies?
Better luck next time.
Yeah, this is, I'm happy to not be there, and sorry to all the folks that are, but we got top half.
We were there last time.
That's
Yeah,
true. Well, not all of us, but you two. All right, let's get to the
Like,
next one.
not
The
all of
top
us.
half of the league, sort of. We're going up to the podium. Nora finishes in 13th with, wait, this isn't Love Island, which is an extra funny name, I want you to know, because Love Island is actually filmed in Fiji as well. Matt with MC Energy comes in 12th. Mokehi of the Autoimmunity Idols falls to 11th. V with What Destiny's Child Said continues to climb out of the basement to 10th. Heidi, my mom with Puteki Teki Tribe, comes in at 9th. She gets into single digits. She was, I think, in 15th or 16th last time. Greg with Parvati's Pony Club is in 8th. Brenna, his wife, beats him out with You'll Be Back at 7th. Kyla with the Dirty South Kai Lions in 6th. Way to go, Kyla. Everyone
Big
at
time.
home, in the supermarket, in your car, take your hands off the wheel. Just clap for Kyla.
Thank you.
Anne of the Hammerheads in 5th, and I fall just short of the podium with Propes Malone in 4th. I think last season I might have been in 8th, so I'll take it.
Nice.
I obviously would love to be higher, but it is what it is. And your top 3, Emily E. with Rough Times finishes in 3rd. It is her first time in the league. Way to go, Emily E. Bree, the person I am most proud of here, because you were in dead last time. You're not 16th out of 16 anymore. You are 2nd out of 26 people. That's quite the improvement. Bree with Rice Rice Baby is in 2nd place this season.
Are you going to tell everyone to stop driving their cars and clap for me?
Well, if you have not crashed your car because you took your hands off the wheel to clap for Kyla, take one more risk. Take your hands off the wheel again. Start clapping for Bree.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah. Who cares about the lanes? It's important that you give Bree her flowers. Unfortunately, and I feel really bad about this. Sorry. I feel bad. I'll get to that why. I'm very proud of Christina. Christina, another new player. Christina of Sharkbait Hoo Ha Ha. Everyone should send Christina a text or a message in the group me. Way to go, Christina. From having no idea what's going on to honestly providing very good takes about this game. She is
Very
in
good.
first. Really great job, Christina.
She came on the
Better have her back
podcast,
in the
right?
pod.
Yeah, she came on
I
the
liked her when
podcast
she was
before. She was part of the one and only official After Hours episode we did.
I think she should
Yeah, when
she
I
should
ate
come back.
pizza.
Yes.
Yeah, we need
Yes.
her back.
Yes, we do. Next season, maybe during the off season. Now, I say I feel bad not to take anything away from Christina, but because I told Bree because I knew she had Savannah, and I forgot that Christina had Savannah and Belarity. So obviously she did quite well this episode. I was like, I don't think anyone could have jumped over Bree before I put the points in to check this. And like a couple people, like your parents, our friends, were all like, I let it happen. I was like, good job, Bree. She won. Then I put the
Yeah.
points in.
9 people told me congrats for winning the Survivor League.
Then I put the points in. I was like, oh no. That's not what happened. So,
I
way to
told
go,
people
Christina.
I won.
Let's see her
And
by, like,
I
a point.
genuinely feel bad about that. I'm sorry. I should have just put
And
the points in or done the math better.
And it was by 11 points. Like, that's a major win, Christina.
She
Way
was
to go.
she wasn't even in the podium. She was behind Anne,
Yes, and you know what it
behind you,
was?
Pat.
It was, you mentioned it earlier. It was when Belarity won the immunity challenge.
That
Right.
bitch.
For sure. I guarantee you I
Comes
missed that bleep.
out
I
of
guarantee you
nowhere.
I missed that bleep in the edit.
She
All
came
right.
out of nowhere this episode and showed out.
Yes.
She did. She did,
Yeah.
and that was all in the name of Christina.
Yeah, Savannah might have won, but Christina had the first and second place. Her team won all of the immunity challenges, won all of fire making, came in first and second. She maxed out her points this week. It was very impressive.
Good job, Christina. We love you.
Yeah. And again, to be clear, not the Afraid of Birds Christina. This is our Christina.
Yeah.
Yes, not that Christina. Oh my gosh.
All right, should we get to the final weekly awards of the season?
Yeah, I'm dying for my superlatives. Let's get a move on.
All right. Well, here's one last look at the official leaderboard altogether. But we talked about it, so better luck next year, everyone, but Christina.
Get out of here.
All right, starting with the most consistent.
Oh,
Bree,
it's me.
you might not have come in first, but Bree is the most consistent.
Here's what I have to say about that. What Savannah said about the women that make 4 challenges or whatever. I don't care about that. There's no money tied to this award, so no thank you.
Yep, that's true, but you got it. So
I got it.
I'll say this, Bree, you'd cared a lot about it if you were in a tie with Christina. 'Cause
Yeah,
that would have put
that's
you
true.
above her.
That's true.
Which means that least consistent.
Oh,
Oh, I was gonna go to Megan. Now hold
poor
on.
Megan.
Megan literally just texted us. Oh, it was not what I wanted. I asked Megan to do a special presentation for this league. I don't think it's going to go on the episode. It'll probably be just loose in the group me at some point. I was
Yeah.
hoping to perfect timing to snag her in here, but it's not part of it. All right, which means next is probably have the numbers. Kyla, Emily E, and unfortunately for Bree, Christina have the numbers this week.
Good job, Kyla.
I got more numbers than Christina.
Now, something about this, now that I'm looking at it, feels like the math didn't check out. But that's fine because to be honest, if I was going to screw something up, the awards are the thing to screw up. They're not tied in the same way to the score. So I might have screwed up how it was adding the weekly score for this award, but whatever. Who cares?
Okay.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Woohoo!
All right. Well, that means that bottom of the tribe. Bottom of the tribe, Mulcahy, Nora, and Megan. Not a great week. I think they probably were down to Sage and or Christina. Not great. All right. Well, the next award is That's How You Do It on Survivor. Goes to Kyle, who I believe climbed 5 spots on the leaderboard this week.
Good job.
Ooh.
Way to go, Kyla. Didn't climb to the podium, but neither did I. So who am I to say anything?
Would I
Which
like to say
means,
anything?
we're ending on a bad one then. We're ending on a taking your Flint. Whose Flint are we going to take this week? Mulcahy and Nora.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Mulcahy and Nora, we're taking your Flint, but it doesn't matter because the league is over. Is that it? Yep, that's it. All right, I can't wait to see in the edit how much of that I covered by accident. All right, which means it is time once more for Bree's Superlatives. Bree, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so for the finale, you reminded me that I promised everyone lots of superlatives. I didn't remember that, so I did spend 30 minutes before we started the podcast making those superlatives with your help, Pat, so thank you for that. I have six superlatives. This spans the entire course of the season, starting with this week's activities and water. So the first superlative is the Assassin Award. And this has to go to Christina for coming out of nowhere and taking me out and stealing my riches. So, Christina, you get the Assassin Award along with your 200 and something dollars. Um,
Nice.
the next award, also based off this week, to Brian is the Better Luck Next Year award because even Eric beat you, and like Pat said, all the people that were voted out weeks ago beat you. So it's a tough road
Same
for Brian,
household.
and
Maybe
Same
Christina
household.
can.
I'll say this
yeah,
in an effort to make myself feel better about not winning anything. Our average household placement way better than
that's
their
right.
average household placement.
Maybe Christina can mentor Brian in the off season, and he'll do better next time.
You should bring that up when we see them next week.
I'm sure he'll love that.
That's the first thing. You shouldn't
Um,
even say hello. Just be like, "Hey, Brian, you really
Start training
pooped
it.
the bed."
Yep.
yeah. The next award is a joint superlative, and this is who I would not want to go up against in fire making because I was thinking about who in the league would, hone in on some skills. And it's a joint award because I know my dad is good at fire making, so I would
Mhm.
not want to go up against my dad for a fire making award because he showed me how to make fires and he used to do it a lot when I was little. And then for some reason, I have no facts to back this up, but I feel like Connor would be really good at making
Mm,
fires, so I would
I
not want to
I
go
could
up
see that.
against,
Remind
yeah,
me.
Connor, I'm not
I
going to
couldn't
go up
tell the
against you in
difference.
fire making.
Yeah.
So you guys are the fire makers that I'm awarding. Um, any thoughts on that? Do you guys agree?
I agree. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
The Rookie of the Year award for the new member who made a big impact, I would like to give to Mikey because I think he brought a ton of hot takes and made me laugh more times than I can count. And I really appreciate his text to our group chat in the Calabrese Five with the real Calabrese
Yes, we're in a
siblings.
sibling group chat where it's Bree, myself, and the actual Calabrese siblings.
But we really appreciate the hot takes he brings. So, Rookie of the Year award goes to Mikey.
Woo.
And this was your idea, Pat. You asked me to give a superlative for, I guess, what we would call the Christina question. Now we're switching back to game Christina. In the final tribal, who could answer the Christina question and know a member of one of our families or a friend or a spouse of everyone? And
I said this with someone in mind, but I'm interested to see if, besides Bree, because that's not fair, to see if you picked who I picked.
that's an interesting. Okay, so you'll have to tell me if we match. I picked Emily E for this award.
I picked Megan in my head.
Mm. But
Hmm.
Emily and Megan
Both good
both
answers. Both good
both good
answers.
energies for like knowing people and caring about things in
Mm,
their lives. And I
Being
think
nicer
Emily
than the rest of
could,
us.
yeah, being nicer than the rest of us, honestly. I
Kyla
think
couldn't
Emily
do
would
it.
do really good answering this. I think Megan would as well.
Agree.
And then the last superlative is for my favorite team name this
Mm,
year. And I was going back to whose I was always looking forward to when you read them out loud. Because I'm not going to lie, some of them, like Gloria's Ripping Gainers, every time you read it, it
dumb.
was too much for me.
Samantha, you blew it.
I
Really
did
let
not
me
like
down.
that name. I'm sorry. But I thought the best team name was Pat Mulcahy's because it was both
Diabetes.
relevant to the show and creative and relevant to him, and it was a good pun. So hats off to best team name for Pat Mulcahy.
Mm, yeah,
Those are my Bree superlatives, and tune in next year to get even more of them.
that's true. Well, on that note, the last thing we have to talk about is Survivor 50. Now, I have not talked about this with either of my co-hosts, but I feel
Uh-oh.
like we're in tune and we have the same general thought. So the interesting thing about Survivor 50 is they actually announced that cast, although not including Savannah and Rizzo, but we kind of knew they'd probably be on. Um, before they announced the 49 cast. So like if you've been paying attention, you care at all, you could have already been thinking about who you want to pick. I have, and I'll tell you this. I am no closer to figuring out who I want to pick. They're all returning players. They're all legends for a variety of different reasons. Uh, I don't, since they're already announced, normally what we do is we say, all right, you can start picking your team and whatnot when they announce it. But it was announced in like June. So we're gonna take a break for a while. I can't keep doing this every week. It's killing me. Even though I love doing it, it's a lot of work. Probably the season doesn't start until February 25th.
That's
So
literally only 6 weeks from now,
I
by the
know,
way.
but I can't go right into it. So since they're already out, feel free, if you've been paying attention, you knew it anyway. Go and look at who you want. I'm going to say late January, maybe early February. There'll be an obvious update in the group me. That gives enough time. That still gives people like 3 weeks to get in their tribe names, do the payment, get in their new, like, get everything situated for the next season. We need a break.
I think it should be in February.
Probably February 1st. Go
I
and
agree with
look
that.
at who you want for next season. Do not talk to me about it. Not talk to me about it. I lied. Talk to me about it, but don't expect me to write it down. I'm not taking any official entries until probably February 1st. On the
And we
season,
will follow up with the game structure and if anything's changing because of the bigger cast, right?
yes, 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 yes. Because there's 24 people, not 18.
Yes, 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 yes.
Big.
So, the other thing I was going to say, this is the part I didn't talk to you about. I would like to do 1 or 2 episodes of this show beforehand, but I not weekly. We can't be doing this weekly. I propose, I've done the research for you, by the way. You don't have to do any of your own research. I propose that we can take a vote on it on air, that we do an episode on the like 12 old era returning players and like who they are if you haven't been able to watch any of them or haven't heard of them, like how many wins they have, what's notable about them. Shouldn't be a long episode, just like a quick synapses for
Synapsis?
your brain, for the synapses in your brain. And then maybe do one more episode on the new players. Again, smaller, not a long episode where it's like, this is who they are. You can go back and watch them on this season if you want to. This is maybe what you might want to consider about them. If you haven't done your own research, do your own research. I don't care. I'm proposing that. We probably won't even start those until, again, closer to when the real season starts. The real important part for me logistically is that if you have someone that wants to join or would be good, and the qualifications being they're either already a Survivor fan or when you tell them about this, they don't think it's stupid. Like they're willing. Like Kyla never watched Survivor, but she was like, "Yeah, I'd give it a try." That's the kind of person that we're interested in. I don't want someone that's going to be like, "I'm not. I'm already going to tell you I'm not going to watch." We've accepted a couple of those into the league. We're not accepting more. I got no room for duds anymore. Um, they don't have to be active. It'd be nice if they participated every once in a
All right,
while.
get to the part you want us to vote on. You're
No,
going
there's no
on.
vote. I'm just saying if you have people, let me know because I'm done having
They
duds.
have to have a good credit score. We want
Yes.
them to be
Stop.
stable.
Please stop. Stop. We already have a new league member with Jazz, Mikey's friend, is going to join. She's been a
Okay.
longtime Survivor fan. In addition, I have a couple more people I offered a spot to. I'm not offering anyone a spot. They have to fit a certain amount of personality criteria that I have. On the other hand, if you are not going to play, let me know. You have to let me know by, let's say, January 15th. Think about it, but if you already aren't participating and you're not contributing, you're probably not watching this, so this is going to not reach you. But let me know. Because otherwise, I'm going to assume you're playing, and then I am going to harass you. So that's straight. Let's set middle of January. The 15th is your deadline to give me a new name or cut yourself from the league. Right now, we're already up one because Jazz said yes. So it looks like we're going to have at least 27 next year. But again, let me know if you have people that would be good, and politely cut yourself if you're a dud. Any other thoughts before we close the second season of Survivor Fantasy Island?
No, that was a good season. I'm excited.
I'm so excited for 50.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a lot of the weirdest personalities they could have collected onto the same tribe. I can't wait
That's
to
why
talk
it's gonna
about
be
them.
good.
There's some weirdos. I would recommend of the new seasons, if you're going to rewatch any and you haven't seen 46, 46 is a great one to watch. I've been told David versus Goliath. That's one that I want to watch before next season. There's a couple returning players from that one. Those are probably good starting places for you. But other than that, uh, let's sign off. Thank you to my co-hosts, Bree and Kyla, for participating so much and letting me drag you into this. I appreciate you, and I'm very thankful for you. I think you both were fantastic at this, and I think you're both too humble to say how good you are at it. But Bree is really funny. I think people enjoy when you put me in my place. And Kyla always has very, very smart takes on the game, is very observant, and extremely kind with her time. And I appreciate you both a lot.
We love you. We're happy
Thanks,
to
Pat.
do
We
it.
love you.
All right.
Thanks
This
for
is-
running this shindig.
This has been The League has Spoken, Season 2. Next time we talk, and talk being a loose word, I don't know what the right verb is. It'll be next year, and we'll be talking about 50. Bye.